I'm David Meller, Course Director of Audio Masterclass. Here we have some acoustic guitar recordings made by Audio Masterclass students. It's a little unusual because each recording was made using two microphones placed as close together as possible, one microphone going to the left channel, the other microphone going to the right channel. This is so we can compare the sounds of the two microphones once the two channels have been separated. So if I play just this example here, that's one microphone, and that's the other. So it's the same performance, two microphones recorded separately, positioned as close as possible. This is so that we can compare the sounds of the microphones. It has to be said that even small differences in positioning can make significant differences in the sound textures that they capture. This is about as close as we can get to an objective test of the sounds of different microphones. So let's listen to this first example again. What we can hear in this example is that this microphone is clearly, it's brighter than this one, and it's picking up more of the touch of the plectrum on the string, a little bit more finger noise. This, however, isn't a bad sound at all, and in the context of other instruments, it might be perfectly acceptable. For a solo acoustic guitar, this one might be a little better due to the increased brightness. Okay. This microphone is the Shure SM57. This microphone is the Rode NT1A. Let's move on to the next example. This is a much darker sound from the acoustic guitar, and we have to make the assumption that that's what the engineer wanted to achieve, that they wanted to achieve a dark sound. So the question is, which works better as the dark sound of an acoustic guitar? I feel that this example works better. This one seems to be trying to be dark, while this one is genuinely dark. This microphone, well, the student has identified it as an AT1333A. That sounds like an Audio-Technica microphone, but I can't find it in the current catalogue, so maybe it's an old model. This microphone, you might be surprised to learn, is the Shure SM57. We'll be hearing a bit more from that model. It's a very popular microphone. Let's move on. Once again, there's a clear difference in brightness. I'll tell you right now that this is the Shure SM57 and this is the Rode NT5. So we will expect more brightness from the Rode NT5. So this sound in this example is probably better for a solo acoustic guitar. Or perhaps if the acoustic guitar was introducing the song, this would be a better kind of sound to have. This sound, however, is not bad, and in the context of a complete band recording, this might be the kind of sound that you would EQ a recording to if it was more like this in the first place. So this is a good sound for a solo acoustic guitar. This is a good sound, or this might be a good sound for a guitar that's mixed in with the rest of the band. Once more. The next two examples, unfortunately, we don't know which microphones have been used. It's a very gentle style of playing, and it's a very gentle sound. So once again, we have to assume that this is the way the person that created this recording is the way that they wanted it. So which works best as a gentle sound from an acoustic guitar? I'd say that one's trying to be gentle. And this one actually is gentle. Moving on. These sounds are very similar, but the microphones are very different, and they're certainly very different in price range. This microphone is the Shure PG81, which is quite a budget microphone, while this microphone is the DPA4011, which is a top price microphone. When we know which microphones have been used, we'll start to listen for the expected sound qualities that they have. Okay, I'm going to say that this one sounds cheaper, this one sounds more expensive. But I know that already. I know the price of these microphones. If you heard these recordings in isolation, chances are you'd say, they do sound quite similar. Moving on. Once again, we have two sound textures here that each of them would be perfectly usable in an appropriate context. This one, a very strong sound. A rather darker sound. So which you would choose depends on the context of the recording that you're working on. This microphone is the Shure Beta 57A, which you would more normally see as a vocal microphone, but there's no reason not to use it on acoustic guitar if that's the sound quality that you like. This microphone is the Rode NT1A that we've heard before, very popular microphone. Moving on. This is a rather more complex sound texture here because the guitarist is using a very percussive method of playing. So we have to take that into account as well. So we'll listen to this in a little bit more detail and listen particularly to the percussive sounds, both the sounds of the slap onto the wood of the instrument and also the snap of the fingers on the strings. In this instance, I'll say that I prefer this example marginally, but this one is good too. This is an interesting microphone. It's the Audio-Technica AT4080, and it's a ribbon microphone. This is another interesting microphone. It's an AKG C28B, which is a vintage vacuum tube microphone. So, worth another listen, I think. Ribbon microphone. And the vintage vacuum tube microphone. Okay, now for my last example. One of these examples is the good old Shure SM57, which is a comparatively low-cost microphone, and I would consider it to be the base level of professional microphones. Every studio has one. Every professional studio has several. The other microphone is the Neumann KM184, which is a much more expensive small diaphragm capacitor microphone. So one of these is the cheap and cheerful Shure SM57. One of them is the much more expensive Neumann KM184. You decide which is which. I'm David Meller, Course Director of Audio Masterclass. Thank you for listening.